How feminism destroyed Gen Z's education.
I once had a teacher my classmates nicknamed Hitler for boys. If you were male and you weren't flamboyant, you could say goodbye to your GPA.
Holy
Naturally,
shit.
it was an English teacher, and she crafted a curriculum so that the literature we were forced to study was all explicitly feminist or racial and anti-white. This agreement was permitted
Fucking
on
hell.
paper, but not in practice. The wisest choice for us was to exercise our right to remain silent whenever possible, because everything
It's not
we
worth
said
it.
would be used against us. Couple that with the endless deceitful lectures about how women are paid less for the same job, how the future is female, how white men run the world and we were somehow at blame for everything, even though
All of these easily debunkable, by the way. Women are paid less is the most fucking retarded shit. Like, honestly, I'm so tired. Like, it's honestly like a litmus test. If somebody says like, oh, but the wage gap, I automatically assume they're a retard. Just instantly.
even though we were still students, and schooling became nothing more than a humiliation ritual. And before you ask, yes, she had terrible relationships with the men in her life, and she made the boys in her class pay for it. This story isn't unique. Every man of my generation can tell you of at least one example of why he was targeted for no
Is this true, chat? Chat, is this true? I'm asking all the dudes in chat. Is this true?
reason other
That's
than
so
being
fucked up.
born the wrong sex.
That's fucked up, man.
While being lectured on how he deserved
hate
it
that.
because historically men had power and allegedly misused it. And he's somehow guilty of that. But that's only scratching the surface. Some argue that schooling has been crafted in such a terrible way.
It's like I said, like anytime someone says something like the wage gap, I just automatically assume they're a retard. I just auto filter them in my brain. Like the instant they do that, I file them away. It's kind of like, you know, when you get like an email and you're like, this is spam, you click this is spam, it puts in the spam folder, and like from there on out, it's in the spam folder. That's how I treat anybody that talks about the wage gap.
That is functionally designed to disadvantage boys, decrease male academic performance, perpetuate misandry, and ruin Gen Z's ability to have relationships. And in this video, I cover those reasons, and if you enjoy it, consider subscribing, it helps the channel. Imagine yourself back.
You guys should 100%, like right now, subscribe to this guy's channel. Because this guy has great stuff. Like from everything I've seen so far has been amazing. Basic logic.
Your primary education, with an adult lecturing at you endlessly for hours while you were expected to sit still and pay full attention. This would be unreasonable even for an adult, but much less a child, especially if that child was a boy. Both boys and girls struggle in such a situation. But for boys who are hardwired for spatial and mechanical activities at that age and have increased drives for adventure, it's flat out a biological obstruction for most. Trapped in such a circumstance, boys with strong imaginations escape by daydreaming, whereas those without mess around or find other small ways of entertaining themselves. Either way, the boys fall behind and often get into trouble. Instead of recognizing the absurdity of modern schooling and
How many of you guys drew flip books in your textbooks? At the bottom of the page, you draw like a little flip book, and you could draw like the Matrix or something like that. Stick figure kung fu fight scenes or lightsabers, because you could do lightsabers if you had a highlighter, right? Because if you had a highlighter, you do like you use the highlighter to make the blade. It made it so much cooler.
Form, it's easier for educators to just blame the boys, punish them until they submit, and in extreme but increasingly common cases, give them ADHD prescriptions. When they're called out for this, educators often point to their female students, showing their superior results as proof that the issue lies solely with the student. This defense is pure blank slate ideology, the dominant but debunked belief that men and women are effectively the same and need equal treatment. And until recently, no one contested it. We know boys are artificially held back because despite their worst start, by 16 to 18, boys catch up on standardized tests like the SAT and pull ahead in math and at the high end of STEM, while their GPAs, shaped by their predominantly female and often political teacher subjectivity, often stay lower. In all of this, girls got a front.
I don't want to hear ever again you guys tell me, talk about me being bad at math or not liking math or not being a math Asian, because it's proven right here. I'm not as good at it, you guys, okay?
Proceed.
Fuck.
Boys consistently fail, get punished, and fall behind them. They're praised as being smarter for doing well in school, when in
Shut up, you guys have male privilege.
reality, they're just being less troublesome and more agreeable. Think about the impact this has shaping a young girl's worldview. The boys are stupider troublemakers, whereas the girls are smarter and responsible. It perfectly conditions them for later feminist propaganda. The type of propaganda that, as I will explain later, kills people's abilities to have relationships and form families, therefore threatening the long-term survival of civilization itself.
True.
Which is why today's sponsor is The Book, the ultimate guide to rebuilding civilization. It's an illustrated encyclopedia of humanity's inventions and discoveries, which may soon become very useful if the West continues its path of social
It's kind of cool, actually.
It's a global bestseller that walks you through some of the most important advancements, all the way from the essentials like how to preserve food,
Well, anybody have this book?
establish a railroad.
Any of you guys have this book? It looks kind of cool, actually.
Roads and more. There's a common saying in many failed nations.
I should get this from my mom. My mom would like this.
Like Zimbabwe. What do we use for lights before candles? Electricity. So if you don't want to end up like them, check out the link in the description and pinned comment, and use the promo code LOGIC.
What did we use for light before? What did we use for light before candles? Like that would be like a torch, right? That'd be like stick with with cloth on it, right? Am I wrong? Am I getting that wrong? Oil lamp? Wait, oil lamp is, oh, you're right. Oil lamp is before candle. Yeah, true.
For a 10% discount. And now, back to the video. Do you
bottled sunlight?
Mansplaining or manspreading? Manspreading is when a man sits down and parts his legs for obvious reasons. It's still wild that this was an actual point of contention in the culture war. And mansplaining is when a man dares to explain something to a woman. Feminists noted that men do this often, with enthusiasm, which they interpret.
You know what's funny? You know who does that too? Women. They do the exact same thing.
As being condescending. Here's
them men, them women always doing the same thing.
Intentionally ignored.
It's true.
Men bond by explaining how.
Especially fucking leftist women. They do it the most.
Stuff works, whereas women generally have a preference for talking about people. By making explaining things to a woman taboo, feminists effectively made it difficult for men to bond with women in their instinctive way. But what was far worse was the MeToo era, and how it infected.
Am I the only one that thinks creepers look like penises? I can't be the only one. They look like penises walking around on their balls.
Every part of schooling. Teachers treated every male student as a possible would-be harasser, and thought it would be their duty to terrorize their students into never acting in a way that could be seen as creepy. On top of that, since "Believe all women" was the slogan of the time, female students were seen as the infallible judges of male students' characters. If one thought you were creepy, then you were.
But see, here's the problem, is that this kind of ties into modern day. The problem with that is those women discovered that it doesn't work on other women. And so they had to then create the victim hierarchy to then apply that exact same thing to other women as well.
Mess up an approach? Now you're a creep and everyone knows it. And you'd be lucky if you weren't recorded and posted online for clicks. There was also the issue of malicious women. Since we pretended that all women were honest victims, malicious ones had free reign to do as they wish.
Yep.
False accusations,
human nature,
gossiping, reputation destruction.
It's almost like human nature is a thing. And if you set up systems where like believe all women, that nefarious women would use it to their advantage. Like, obviously, everyone knows this.
Became commonplace. Even male teachers began to refuse being alone in the same room as female students. Boys flat out stopped asking girls out, or in some cases, even talking to them. The irony was that at the same time feminists were terrorizing boys, most of whom had never even had the courage to ask their girl out, they were supporting the mass importation of peoples known for exactly the crimes they claimed to want to.
Did you guys see that recent video of like there was a woman who like went to Serbia or some shit and she just got instantly raped? I'm just gonna say raped from now on. She got like instantly raped.
Avoid. This was never about protecting women. It was about demoralizing men, and it worked. There was also other propaganda, less aggressive than MeToo but still impactful, such as the gender pay gap, the routinely debunked but endlessly
the biggest
claim
super dumbass, giga dumbass theory.
I remember posters of this in every classroom. Teachers forced us to do projects on it.
Oh my god, but what about the gender pay gap?
Extensive initiatives were taken to fix this imaginary gap. Girls were given broad academic support in the form of women-only scholarships, glowing recommendations, and recruiting quotas. Meanwhile, men were stuck with only mixed scholarships and the...
If you want to know the gender pay gap thing, like the Cliff Notes version is basically men and women take on different jobs and at different skill levels just because all of one group doesn't do well doesn't mean it's because of discrimination. It has to do with group preferences and group aptitudes as well, obviously.
Consequences of those quotas, pushing them lower in the rankings. These initiatives were also present in universities and the work.
Oh my God, I just had an idea. We should make an AI TV series, because we can now with AI, an AI TV series called A World Without Men. And it would just be like it would be like The Office, but the premise would be all the men got a virus in the world and all died. And that would be like the premise. And so like it would be like The Office of like these women that are like they're trying to like clean the sewers and trying to work on oil rigs and shit like that. Dude, it would be great. Wouldn't that be hilarious, actually? It'd be like a comedy show. It would be such a banger.
Encouraging the hiring and promotion of women just because they were women. And we needed more female empowerment. The result? Young women today are often both hired and paid more than men for the same job. In other words, they solved an imaginary gap caused by imaginary discrimination.
And then created an actual gap.
Actual gap caused by actual discrimination.
True.
The end result of all this
leave it to
was a system
feminists.
that taught girls that men
Leave it to feminists and liberals to actually create the racism that they wanted, that they claim that they hate.
stupid,
The sexism and the racism that they claim they hate. It's hilarious.
Filled with entitlement, and whatever power they do have, they got at women's expense. In the workplace, men are seen as inferior, hired less than women, paid less than women, promoted less than women, and less deserving of respect. Women were also taught that the institutions were their allies, who would elevate them and bring about social justice.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, men were taught that women are dangerous and have no accountability. They learned the institutions were their enemy.
That the entire system is rigged against you, and that if you even think about marrying a woman, that she can take half of your shit. Like you could be like really well off, and then a woman can like cheat on you and then take half of your shit. Isn't that crazy?
Tear them down for someone else's benefit. Does it make sense now?
Oh, and it's also crazy too how like she can just kill your kid if she feels like it. Just kill your kid just because she feels like it. She's like, actually, I don't want your kid, so let's just fucking kill them. And that's kind of how these guys are.
Even when ignoring the impact of...
But if you don't want it and she does, now you have to pay. You have to pay many years, many dollars. If you don't want it, but she does.
Technology. Why men and women are no longer having relationships. Why there is such open hostility between the sexes. And Gen Z is one of the most political...
And the funny thing is like if you point that out, they'll probably just say something like, well, you should have kept your dick in your pants.
Divided generations in history. How are we supposed to have families together and continue civilization when one sex is taught since childhood that the other is automatically stupid, unworthy, and the cause for all of
men's options
problems?
Pay, run away, or never play.
I once had a...
I'm telling you, man, once the AI robot waifus are real, it's over. It's over for any woman that doesn't actually provide value to men. It's over. 100% fucked. Yeah, it's GG no re. Especially like once like Full Dive comes out, it's over. Humanity's cooked. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that part. Like I'm really not a big fan of that. Like I kind of want there to be families. I kind of want there to be, people getting married and people having kids. I'm gonna be real. The what we have right now is not working either. Pete's Face, thank you so much for the 500 kicks. I was once interested in a girl until she unironically used the term mansplaining in the conversation. I cut her off right there. Dude, you probably dodged a bullet, to be honest. Do a math YouTube quiz. Alex, I already said I'm not good at math. You don't have to like rub it in to like make fun of me. What the fuck? Myra Zircon, thank you so much for the $1 Rumble rant. Yes, I had an English teacher that was a communist. She had pictures of Che around the classroom and treated dudes like ass. And I'm a millennial. That sucks. Honestly, I apologize on behalf of the world that you guys had to deal with that. Like that's actually so ass, to be honest. And things need to change. It's terrible. Like the thing that I don't get about these feminist women and stuff like that, and like maybe this is the point. Maybe this is the point. But when I think of being mean to men, I think about like my dad, and I think about like how awesome my dad is, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to be mean to my dad. You know, I wouldn't want my dad to like have to deal with this shit and like put up with this. And I think about, you know, in the future, like, you know, if I have a son, like I don't want my son to deal with this. I don't want my male family members to deal with this. My male friends, I don't want any of them dealing with this either. And that's kind of what I think about, right? And it's like, do they just not have any men that they like? So they're just like permanently like men are the opposition. Is that the issue? I don't know. You know, but it's like I just, the idea of like the important men in my life that I love having to be subjected to this, like it makes me sick. You know, it's disgusting. So I don't know what's wrong with these people, right? Like a good example is like that woman, the Hong, right? And she's like, yeah, I can't believe the whiteness that I'm adjacent to. And like what she's talking about is her son. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's disgusting. Like, fucking awful. Anyway, that was a great video. Please check it out, you guys. Please support the original creator on this. I want to watch a lot more of base logic. Honestly, this video was infuriating. Like, to be honest, like this was an infuriating. I don't mean it was a bad video. It was a great video, but the contents were kind of infuriating.